Artificial intelligence and the wisdom of the heart towards a fully human communication. Message of Pope Francis for the 58th World Day of Social Communications. Dear brothers and sisters, the development of systems of artificial intelligence, to which I devoted my recent message for the World Day of Peace, is radically affecting the world of information and communication, and through it, certain foundations of life in society. These changes affect everyone, not merely professionals in those fields. The rapid spread of astonishing innovations, whose workings and potential are beyond the ability of most of us to understand and appreciate, has proven both exciting and disorienting. This leads inevitably to deeper questions about the nature of human beings, our distinctiveness, and the future of the species Homo sapiens in the age of artificial intelligence. How can we remain fully human and guide this cultural transformation to serve a good purpose? Starting with the heart. Before all else, we need to set aside catastrophic predictions and their numbing effects. A century ago, Romano Guardini reflected on technology and humanity. Guardini urged us not to reject the new in an attempt to preserve the beautiful world condemned to disappear. At the same time, he prophetically warned that we are constantly in the process of becoming. We must enter into this process, each in his or her own way, with openness, but also with sensitivity to everything that is destructive and inhuman therein. And he concluded, these are technical, scientific, and political problems, but they can be resolved except by starting from our humanity. A new kind of human being must take shape, endowed with a deeper spirituality and new freedom and interiority. At this time in history, which risks becoming rich in technology and poor in humanity, our reflections must begin with the human heart. Only by adopting a spiritual way of viewing reality, only by recovering a wisdom of the heart, can we confront and interpret the newness of our time and rediscover the path to a fully human communication. In the Bible, the heart is seen as the place of freedom and decision-making. It symbolizes integrity and unity, but it also engages our emotions, desires, dreams. It is above all the inward place of our encounter with God. Wisdom of the heart, then, is the virtue that enables us to integrate the whole and its parts, our decisions and their consequences, our nobility and our vulnerability, our past and our future, our individuality and our membership within a larger community. This wisdom of the heart lets itself be found by those who seek it and be seen by those who love it. It anticipates those who desire it, and it goes in search of those who are worthy of it. Wisdom chapter 6, verse 12 to 16. It accompanies those willing to take advice. Proverbs 13:10. Those endowed with a docile and listening heart. 1 Kings 3:9. A gift of the Holy Spirit, it enables us to look at things with God's eyes, to see connections, situations, events, and to uncover their real meaning. Without this kind of wisdom, life becomes bland, since it is precisely wisdom, whose Latin root sapere is related to the noun sapor, that gives savor to life. Opportunity and danger. Such wisdom can't be sought from machines. Although the term artificial intelligence has now supplanted the more correct term machine learning, used in scientific literature, the very use of the word intelligence can prove misleading. No doubt, machines possess a limitlessly greater capacity than human beings for storing and correlating data, but human beings alone are capable of making sense of that data. It is not simply a matter of making machines appear more human, but of awakening humanity from the slumber induced by the illusion of omnipotence based on the belief that we are completely autonomous and self-referential subjects detached from all social bonds and forgetful of our status as creatures. Human beings have always realized that they are not self-sufficient and have sought to overcome their vulnerability by employing every means possible. From the earliest prehistoric artifacts, used as extensions of the arms, and then the media, used as an extension of the spoken word, we have now become capable of creating highly sophisticated machines that act as a support for thinking. Each of these instruments, however, can be abused by the primordial temptation to become like God without God. Genesis chapter 3. That is, to want to grasp by our own effort what should instead be freely received as a gift from God, to be enjoyed in the company of others. Depending on the inclination of the heart, everything within our reach becomes either an opportunity or a threat. Our very bodies, created for communication and communion, can become a means of aggression. So too, every technical extension of our humanity can be a means of loving service or of hostile domination. Artificial intelligence systems can help to overcome ignorance and facilitate the exchange of information between different peoples and generations. For example, they can render accessible and understandable an enormous patrimony of written knowledge from past ages, or enable communication between individuals who do not share a common language. Yet at the same time, they can be a source of cognitive pollution, a distortion of reality by partially or completely false narratives believed and broadcast as if they were true. We need but think of the long-standing problem of disinformation in the form of fake news, which today can employ deep fakes, namely the creation and diffusion of images that appear perfectly plausible but false. I too have been an object of this. Or of audio messages that use a person's voice to say things which that person never said. The technology of simulation behind these programs can be useful in certain specific fields, but it becomes perverse when it distorts our relationship with others and with reality. Starting with the first wave of artificial intelligence, that of social media, we have experienced its ambivalence, its possibilities, but also its risks and associated pathologies. The second level of generative artificial intelligence unquestionably represents a qualitative leap. It is important, therefore, to understand, appreciate, and regulate instruments that, in the wrong hands, could lead to disturbing scenarios. Like every other product of human intelligence and skill, algorithms are not neutral. For this reason, there is a need to act preventively by proposing models of ethical regulation to forestall harmful, discriminatory, and socially unjust effects of the use of systems of artificial intelligence and to combat their misuse for the purpose of reducing pluralism, polarizing public opinion, or creating forms of groupthink. I once more appeal to the international community to work together in order to adopt a binding international treaty that regulates the development and use of artificial intelligence in its many forms. At the same time, as in every human context, regulation is of itself not sufficient.